you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Iron Lady singing at the intro to our song. That means we're live on the Chris Voss Show, bringing you the most amazing minds, journeys, lessons of life from the most amazing stories, authors, and entrepreneurs in the world. Damn it. And we bring it all to right here on the show. We have the oldest living podcast that is still broadcasting 1 to 2 new episodes that we're posting a day. So be sure to support us, because if not, we wither and we die from lack of love and validation. I don't know. Just making stuff up. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, or else go to facebook.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, and all those crazy places in it. Don't make me hold the car over here and make you subscribe to your friends, family, and relatives. I'll do it. Anyway, we had amazing. This is the one show that threatens its audience to keep it in line. That's how we made this longevity work, folks. Threatening our audience. Anyway, opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. We have an amazing young lady on the show with us today. We're going to be talking about her book called Wisdom Seed, Challenging Perceptions of Time and Reality, Special Edition by TRISHA PORTBURY. We're going to get into it with her and find all the stuff she's been up to down there in the big down under Australia. She hit the planet in Melbourne some time now ago and has lived there ever since. Did she just dodge her giving us her age? Yep, she did. Yes. She has 3 sons and is a Grammy to 6 grandchildren, so she's at least 20. She is a practicing artist and writer and has been a senior arts, crafts, and design educator after acquiring a B education in arts and crafts and a secondary one at Melbourne. And she has several successful exhibitions. She is an Ascension Reiki master teacher and now past Rotarian and overall lover of life. She spent 30 years working with a secondary school student. She's observed the many strategies students use to camouflage their self-perceived learning anomalies. Young Trisha thought she had dead spots in her brain. Gradually, she worked out how to get around them. Welcome to the show, Trisha. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks, Chris. How are you?
I am excellent. It's just wonderful to have you, and we always love our friends from Australia. You guys and Canadians are the nicest people in the world in our experience. Give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
I'm Trisha, TRISHA, Portbury, at .com. And I've got a really nice website, and you're more than welcome to come on board and check out the new book. And there's even a place where you can ask me questions, and I would love to respond.
You're from Australia, so which would you get rid of if you had to choose between only 2 things, Crocodile Dundee or the band Men at Work?
I'd almost get rid of Men at Work.
I'm just teasing. They're both great. Yeah. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your new book, please?
Okay, so what's inside the new book is a story about a ordinary issue family, a dad, Harry, and his 2 almost grown-up adolescent kids. It starts following them, and because I was a teacher, I made it so that I could help a lot of the kids that struggled with reading. I was a specialist Year 12 teacher, and I found a lot of them they could do the work until they got to the exams, and they really struggled because of the reading. So I designed this book so that they could read a lot better and had all these different strategies to get the reading in lower levels. But as it turned out, the book actually became much more than that and became about working out how to thinking, as in thinking, because a lot of them don't really know how to process their own thoughts and how to express them, and that's where they get into trouble.
Now, when you say syncing, you mean lining something up to where it matches?
and making things make sense in their own real world.
Oh, I'm still trying to do that after 58 years.
Well, I think we all are doing that. But anyway, it takes you through someone who's brought his baggage from growing up. Harry, he was a little bit of a player in the classroom and had all sorts of excuses to get out of doing things.
That's my kind of guy.
I think there's lots of guys out there like that, and a few girls as well.
Yeah.
And takes you through how it impacted on his work life, but it's fun. It's not serious. And you can see how in the end he's got a daughter who is a little crazy, not super crazy, just she's an extrovert. And if she sees a chance to take the teacher off course, she'll go for it. And it's a really funny passage about how all of a sudden the sparrow comes in and goes crazy and she makes a Shakespeare speech. Then all of a sudden a spider drops out of the air conditioning and everyone's screaming and he gets it and puts it in her mouth with a few feet hanging out. These things actually did happen.
Wow.
And,
in your classroom?
Yeah.
Wow. You actually had somebody put a mouse in their mouth in your classroom?
No, a spider.
A spider.
And
I've seen your guys' spiders there in Australia. Those things are like small critters. They're like a small dog, really.
This that's right. This was a huntsman.
And, it was just a huntsman. Yeah, I've seen that. I have nightmares from that, and I've never seen one in person. I've just seen the pictures.
Yeah. And anyway, it starts off showing how she hasn't got any self-discipline. And I'm so sorry. But anyway, then there's a mood monitor in there to show you how that she should be a little bit more perceptive of how she's behaving and judging, working out what she's doing wrong. And I actually made one of those for the kids, and they used to come and say, "Can I have another one?"
Oh.
Because it actually really worked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then it goes to Henty to ask. Henty's the older, serious, sensible boy, and he likes bikes. The thing is, when I was working out on the outer rim of Melbourne, and in the schools, the kids all had motorbikes and farms and stuff. And so the book pushed towards that because I went to a workplace training for health and safety at one stage, and they were saying kids were more likely to, or anybody was more likely to die 50 times more likely in the first week of work. So I thought, we've got to... That's what they said at this training course, whether or not it's true.
Was this at their personal company, or is this just in companies in general? Because
this was the government where you went to learn how to do risk assessments.
Oh, well, people die within the first. Something's going on at that office place. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. But anyway, it was enough to motivate me, whether it's true or not, to think I'm going to make it about going to work and building all these little tricks about being safe. And so that's all built in there too. And then all of a sudden, this big, beautiful tree comes along from the dry country, 500 years old, and Harry gets to plant it. And the kids see the pictures he took that night, and off they go to have a look at it. And then this tree is just no ordinary tree. And that's where all the imagination starts coming in. On their way, the Don't Walk man jumps out of the lights where they have to stop and hops in the car and starts talking. When they're driving along, the knuckles in their hands, these digits, in other words, fingers reversed, come up and start talking to Harry on the steering wheel, and the kids start laughing and they can't believe it. So Harry's got this wild imagination that he's always thought was his own. But what happens is the kids all of a sudden be drawn into this world of Imaginistas that he has to entertain himself. And these characters all become part of the journey to bring out all these different learnings and wisdoms, but in a funny, happy, out there, weird way.
And who were the inspirations of these characters? Did they come from maybe some of the kids, or a compilation of stuff, or who were some of the parents or some of the designs that you used to bring these protagonists?
The interesting thing is I just let the story flow. Like there was a parent-teacher interview once where a mum told me about the daughter putting the spider into her mouth. All the other things happened that I did say, but I put them all together. And then, so that was a student-driven thing. I grew up with my father. Actually, when I was little, I used to go out and help him on his road job. He made roads. So I knew about machines. And basically the inspiration was a lot of students and me. I struggled at school to read, but I was super bright, and it was just decoding the letters. So I found that with a lot of the kids. So when I did that first book that's never been published, it's been printed, but it goes through looking at the power of words against the power of images. And you can see here it becomes a joust, and that's where I start looking at how the left brain and the right brain work, and the ones that drop back that you can tell are really, really clever, struggle with their words. So I thought I'd build in a platform with all the things that I learnt when I was struggling. I couldn't look at the blackboard and write at the same time. I'd go dizzy. So I'd have to just write without looking at what I wrote. And I found my dad would have those Reader's Digest books that had the double columns, and I'd find that I would lose my place even on the columns. So I made all the characters colour-coded. So when you read the book, all of Harmony's purple text, Henty's a different colour, and it goes like that so that you can't lose your place.
Oh, wow.
And you know who's talking. And then in there too, as an extra added bonus, is once I was at a school doing a replacement class, and the teacher left the work saying, hand in the dictionary task that she's given them. Only 3 stood up and handed it in, the rest didn't. And I was saying, what's gone wrong? I could have told you the answers. And they went running out to the lockers and said, We didn't know what the dictionary words meant. We couldn't work them out. So that gave me an idea too, and I put a word decoder in it, but it wasn't a dictionary word decoder. It was something really simple. Wise or wisdom is cool stuff that makes you think, solves a problem, and it stays with you, and it's worth remembering. It's inspirational. The light bulb comes on, something like that, and they get it. It's got all sorts of things happening in there.
Now, I know this is a special edition or maybe revised edition. Tell us what makes this different than the original book. People can still find Amazon from 2011.
They actually can't, because that was actually stopped for sale a long time ago.
Oh, okay. I guess I can see the image on there, so I didn't.
They do. They still put it on, but it's not for sale. And they did a special edition. There's a lot more images in, a lot more updated images. The text is it's a lot more current, the thinking behind the text and the way that they've laid it out, so it works even more effectively than it did the time before. And it's just a lot more powerful. They let me put it, when I did the first one, a lot of it had to be taken out. Can I just show you something?
Yeah, please do.
Over here, I don't know if you can see me.
Let me see if we can see you here.
Yeah, I did a Wisdom Warriors book, and then because I went back to working, it had everything I wanted in there and absolutely every detail. But when I went to a publisher, because I thought that I'd be working and couldn't keep selling them, I had to take out a lot of the images and things like that, and it was changed. And so this new book, they let me put whatever I liked back in and made it work. No rules, no limits. And it works how it was meant to work in the first place.
Now, the artwork in this, tell us about the artwork in this, because it's special.
It is special because I painted it and created it or drew it. There's up there, you can see, when the new book starts open, when the new edition opens up, you see this magical mystery world open up to you, and it's from a painting that I've painted. And that's really in Pakenham, where Cardi Dar is. a real place. A lot of that is information that really exists, that paintings I really did do. And then the yabbies up the back there, they're the earth plumbers and whatever they do, and they're the ones that come in with Harry and restore all the damage that the magic's done on the first tree event. I can tell you exactly what happened. When I wrote the story first, and then I thought it was more of a project for me to solve problems for thinking and learning for people. And so I thought I'll create all these images, and I was a design teacher. I thought I could show them how to do this technique and that technique. And so it became a labour of love more than anything else. Oh. And as I walked around the lake where I lived, I'd never seen a yabby, and all of a sudden a bird cormorant came and dropped a dead yabby on the rock. So I photographed it, and then I wrote about a great gnarly spotted tree, but there weren't any around. So I happened to go to a different school, because you went from school to school assessing, being the state reviewer. And there was this great gnarly spotted tree, so I photographed that. And the whole book, every time I got to a next stage, I found what I needed, or I'd had a painting, or it was just something that I'd never expected to happen, but the whole thing came together, and it was almost like it was meant to be.
Some things are meant to be. And how long have you been doing paintings and stuff? How did you get good at this and decide that this was the thing for your book instead of hiring a third party like some people do?
Because I could do it for free.
Yeah, for free. There we go. That's the right answer. That's the answer I had here is the right answer. You can do it for free. And, there's probably a bit more personability to reading a book where not only the artwork has been done by the author and they've carefully curated it, and the care and love is there, and then the story as well. So this is pretty great. I mean, we have a lot of authors on the book that write children's books, different things with illustrations, and usually they're good at writing. They have to hire somebody else to do the artwork, and sometimes that can be a challenge. But you have the ability to remake it really personal and include it, and that's a great talent to have. You can save yourself a lot of money, and you don't have to wait for people to do their thing. One of the problems with art sometimes, you're like, hey, can you make that? And they're like, yeah, in 2 or 3 months we can get it back to you. And they get back to you, like, I got to change some things there. Oh, that'll be another 2 or 3 months.
That's right.
So that sort of thing.
No, that doesn't happen here. I can do it.
You can do it.
And the other thing too is when this first one that I did happened, it was all of the new computer systems were coming in, and Photoshop, and a lot of teachers were struggling learning to do it. So I made it like at the very beginning. It starts off with simple stuff that you can do in Illustrator. Oh, I can't hold it up high. So that's so that the kids can use it. And then we do different exercises, and then I'd show them how to do spears. So the seeds that are flying out, the motorbike riders are coming out of the seeds, is just in Photoshop to show them how to use that filter. So there was all sorts of double intentions.
And it just makes to me, that would make for a better book. Because one thing I always like is when authors do their own audible reading book, they read the book, because it just feels more personal. There's a few authors that I really enjoy, and for some reason, it's whatever the reasons are, they haven't done the reading of their book, and they pay somebody else to come read it. And I just really don't feel it flows as well unless it's the author. It's their words. They wrote the book, and it's their experience. And I think it's like more genuine. If Stevie Nicks writes a song and she's like, I don't want to sing it, I'll have Bob and the band sing it. You're like, no, it came for Stevie Nicks, right?
Right.
And we want to hear her voice sing this song. But I don't know, some people are better than other at things. Like I think Tom Petty and her, they used to share a lot of songs, or she did a lot of songs of his that he wrote and said, this is better on your voice. There's that too. So now, is there anything forthcoming? Is this going to be maybe a series or a build out of the characters into future books?
Yes, it is. And there is already the second book. And I have it with my publishers, Ink Bindings, and they have already got it in the process of putting it together. They've got all of the images created, and it'll just be a matter of when they'd like to release it. Oh. It'll be a while because this one's just come out, but it'll be probably by the end of the year. I trust them. They're really good.
Sure. Book Science has done really well. We had a lot of their guests on the show. So how did you know when you were good at reading? How did you know that when you kind of are writing, we actually talked about your reading. How did you know when you're good at writing and you kind of had this moment of epiphany where it's like, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write this book? How did that take place?
You know what? It didn't happen that way. It never happens that way for me. I'm just not the same. And what happened was I changed schools.
Okay.
I moved over to Pakenham, and it was a long way to go to the other school. So I changed schools, and this school, a Catholic school, wanted you to say prayers in the morning. Every teacher had to get up and say a prayer or a reflection. Really? And I didn't. I'm not Catholic. I didn't have all the prayer books and things like that. So every night I'd sit down when it was my turn, and I'd write another reflection. And people were saying, "Where are you getting these things from?" And the English teachers were asking me, "What's happening here?" And they got bigger and longer and more exotic. And she said, "Oh, you're a really good writer." And then my dad actually, I had an exhibition or two, and I've been sitting there like I've done this one about, this is another one never released, about kamikaze schoolgirl I wrote because I was worried.
Kamikaze schoolgirl?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Oh. Does she run into you and blow up like a kamikaze? No,
but she felt like she was sometimes at school. But she was actually quite clever at school too. She was good at maths methods and physics and all that stuff. So I had a distorted view of who I was. And so did Harry. So actually, when you think about it, there's a lot more of me and Harry than you realise. Oh. And I actually never thought that I would be it. And one day I went to night school for something to do and do the subjects I liked because I did maths and physics at high school. And I've copied out this form. Next minute, I'm actually going into Melbourne University doing a double degree, and I didn't expect it. But I went for it. My boss, I worked in public relations at Dandenong Hospital, and he used to help me with the writing. He was an ex-Times, London Times journalist. He said, no, Trisha, you do it this way. And then there was that sort of influence, and I went off to art school, and my whole life has been strange occurrences. When I got there, I thought, this is not for me. I'm going back to get my old job back. It's all these arty people there. And this big voice from the night school said, come back, you're going the wrong way. So I got hauled back in. And in the end, I became actually the state reviewer for Victoria for this design subject. Never would have ever thought that would happen. And I got a lot of, I worked very hard at working out how to teach the kids, how to get it right for these, because you get a lot of kids that are right dominant rather than the English maths and English sequential thinkers. And I just loved it because they knew I had their back and I worked hard for them to work out how they thought. And so this thinking came all from that, trying to help them, and this writing, it just came.
It's wonderful. And I mean, you write a lot as a teacher and stuff, and my mom was a teacher too. And so there's a lot of great stuff that goes on that way, and helping people just get better, live better. I've been in the store when people come up to my mom and go, hey, I was in your class. And it's so wonderful to see, because now she sees the adults and she can tell that they're grown up, and she's like, oh, thanks for the indulgence. And it's sometimes she's had people come up to her, and she's had some people come up to her, and she's like, oh, she's really sweet to them, and they're really nice to her, and they tell her how much they changed her life, and then they'll leave, and she'll be like, that was one of the ones that I thought would be in prison. I never thought they would ever make it. That was the problem one, Chris. I hated that student. But I had I bet there's a lot of teachers that thought I hated them because I flunked their class on purpose because I didn't need their credits in high school. And I told them that too. And I think a lot of them thought I was an asshole. And most of the teachers that I flunked their class on purpose, once again, because I didn't need the credits, I still loved them. And they had an impact on me. Some of them were a little unkind to me because when they found out what I was up to. But in my high school, I figured out in my sophomore year that if you took all the classes and passed all the classes, you would get 56 credits or something. And you only needed 26 to graduate from high school. You didn't need all those other classes to graduate. And I was a stupid kid. I grew up poor. I wasn't going to Harvard, right? I was going to have a Pell Grant, which I did. And so I was like, whatever. So that was the game I played. So I went to my teachers and I said, hey, a couple of them asked me, they're like, why are you flunking out? You're just sleeping at your desk now. And I go, I'm going to fail your class. And I explained to them why. But no, a lot of them, so some were a little angry with me. Some of them just said, don't come into my classroom and I'm just going to mark you here. I just think what you're doing is so offensive to me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be offensive, but I'm sorry. I'm not playing this game. So you didn't make the game. I didn't make the game, but we're going to play it. And there it is. So no, I don't recommend that for everybody, but if you're a dumb kid who's grew up poor and doesn't have a future, doesn't get good grades because he has really bad ADHD and OCD, then that might be advice for you. That'll be in my next book, How to Fail in School and Still Succeed.
You know what? I think he might have been Harry.
I might have been Harry. Okay. All right. They're writing characters about me now. It's good to know I wasn't the first.
You weren't the first. You won't be the last. You know what? A lot of the kids that come up to you in the street say, remember me, and have little stories like that. And they give you a big bear hug and says, because you were mean to me and made me do the work, I'm an architect now and I've got this and that. Or they'll say that they've got their own big companies. One of them even got to be the director creative to Howard Hughes.
Really?
You know what?
Wow, that's huge.
And I sit there and think they all did better than me. But then I thought, you know what? That's what a good teacher can do.
That's true.
Change your direction. And your teachers would have loved you deep down, I think.
Yeah. And I love most all of them, I think. Pretty much all of them. Except the one who was he had a paddle board with holes drilled through it and he would slam it on the desk and he was really mean. And my driving license teacher was really mean, but and most teachers are really good. They're gracious. They're there to do the right thing. And the impact that you guys have on people's lives and changing them. We've had people on the show that grew up in abusive trauma households, crazy households, semi-orphans and stuff like that. And the people that saved them was a teacher. And the teacher knew what they were going through and help them see the light of day. And so you guys save lives. You guys change lives. And it's all that goodness. And the great thing is now you're doing it through a book where what age group is this book recommended for, would you say?
Well, it seems to, for me, it's say year 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But the way it's working out, it's working that it runs at so many different levels and it's reaching a lot of adults. It's reaching really great thinking people saying, whoa, how can you expect a student to read that? But it's running at a really easy level to read first, and then it has another undercurrent running through it, and then another one. And I had one lawyer say to me, Trisha, you can't be expected to sell that to kids because he saw it through his level. Yeah. And then I had another one that said to me, I hated going to special reading because they give you children's books to read, and it was insulting. and it was insulting. So that was another reason to design it. It was made to treat them with respect, and so that you could hide. They had the dictionary built in. It had simplistic words. It had translations in it, and you could read at your own pace. You could read it super fast, you could read it slowly, you could read it bit by bit, but a lot of people come back and said, I've read it again. I had someone buy the book once and say, I wish I'd had that at school. Another one gave them the book and said, I gave it to them for a present, and they cried.
Oh,
They
wow.
said, I cannot believe that there's a book like this for me. And then I've seen on the internet people saying in other countries they've used it as English as a second language to help them read and get these things going, because it's context and text given as a parallel journey. One, so the left brain or right brain, the brains are meant to work together, both bits, but sometimes they're more dominant ones than the other, which is what causes the issues.
Yeah. It's a thing where the other thing too I love is books like these are great for parents to reach their children. And it's so important that they take that quality time. I highly recommend people do that. It builds great intimacy with your child, time, presence. It builds their mind, because especially as a parent, you can play up a book and do the voices and characters and give a little emphasis and stuff to gear their imagination. And that's what children really need. And they like to do stuff over and over again to master it. It's really good. But the thing about what level of reading it's at, the average American, I know I scheduled this to I didn't include the world because us Americans are pretty dumb these days. Some of Europe's pretty smart, and probably Australia is too. The average American reads at a 7th to 8th grade level, and that's 54% of U.S. adults, but read below a 6th grade level or even a 3rd grade level, I guess. No, hold on.
This book would target all of the... will I read you one little bit?
Sure, yeah.
If you got time. They decided to go... I'll show you this little bit. This is the school teacher in me. There's the fellow jumping out of the lights.
Oh, wow.
They hopped in the car and he said, hello, I'm Henry LeGlow. A little late, but just had to wait. He says, Henri, the bloke in the don't walk crossing sign, he said, felt trapped. You look like nice folks, so I jumped into your car. Felt like rebelling, decided to walk just for the sake of it. And then he added, I was sick of going nowhere, getting no place. I took the leap of faith and almost, as an afterthought, trust make it. All takes trust. And that sort of stuff appeals to even adults sometimes, because then they talk about what the trust is, and it's not kid stuff. It takes them into, would you take that risk if you're a real person, and all sorts of different things. Did you listen to that, or did you go forward?
No, I listened to it. I was also looking at the pictures on your wall. I have ADHD, and these are all your art pieces here that people can see if they watch it on YouTube. I see a cool crab there, I think, behind you.
Yeah, they're the yabbies. I'm in the way. I'll come out of the way.
The other one's maybe a lobster, crawfish, or something?
That's in the second book. You have to wait for those.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a look down there, there's grunge, and that looks at workplace, like he's the boss, and then they have an apprentice on his brow mopping up everything, and then under his hair plugs, there's all these hangers on that are the parasites that just hang around and don't do anything.
Wait, that sounds like people at my office. Maybe me.
And the interesting thing is that it actually shows him in a mind drift, and it actually shows that the writing says when he doesn't do what he writes things, he's got all sorts of amazing things happening. Do you want me to read you a bit of that, or are we running out of time?
I think we're about rounding out the show. So let's we want to, of course, have the people buy your book and get into it from there. Yes, we do. So definitely. So we'll do that. And as we go out, give people a final pitch out to order up your book and your .com.
Okay. My .com is www.portbury.com. It's just easy. And PORTBURY's PORTBURY, as they say on the ads. Onto the website, you can contact me. I've got Amazon. It's on Amazon in Australia. If you want to buy it in Australia, buy it on Australian Amazon. But American Amazon, it's got a 4.8 rating, and it's already got a Hollywood Book Review star. And I am very proud, as you can tell. Yeah. And the next book is going to be a real cracker. This one's funny. The next one's really out there.
Oh, wow. Give us the .com one last time as we go out then.
Okay, TRISHA, PORTBURY.com.
Thank you very much, Tricia, for coming to the show.
Yeah, it was really great. And thanks for letting me talk about my book. And it was nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Thank you. It was good to meet you and all that good stuff. So we'll be excited to see the future book coming out for you and all that good stuff. Folks, pick up our book wherever fine books are sold. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.